Some of these are developing countries will where they can go.
मुझे दुबई में जाना दुबई में हो गया एक बार कौन सा
रोड पे ही है मैं तो सच
Bank brings out a fortnightly SME e-bulletin, circulars on topical issues and SME events, and World SME News, a monthly WASME News magazine featuring developments in SME sector around the world. WASME has implemented numerous shared projects with many international organizations all across the world like INSEN, ICSB, NASA, and ILO. WASME has been recognizing SMEs and honoring SME experts for their contribution to the SME sector in their respective countries. With the nation on the move, there is renewed excitement at WASME. An all-pervading air of optimism is in the air. Make in India, Digital India, e-governance, Swachh Bharat, and other programs.
UNESCO and ILO. Several intergovernmental and international organizations like WCO, OECD, ICSP, APAC, APCTT, and many more. Now, we request Mr. Inderdev Narayan, Vice President WASME, to kindly address the gathering. Please, sir.
To welcome you all on behalf of World Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, on behalf of my president, Mr. Gray from Nigeria, and all the managing committee members, and I extend my personal greetings to you all to be here. Dr. Khalid Melak Razik, Councillor Commercial, Egypt, Mrs. Naomi Williams, Head of Chancery, the Gambia High Commission, Mr. Ziaul Haq Akhundzada, Second Secretary from the Economic Department, Economic Officer, Embassy of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, Dr. Nahid Rashid, Councillor Commercial, Bangladesh High Commission. Is a global non-profit organization which is headquartered in Noida, India, and it has been spearheading the cause and development of small and medium enterprises through policy advocacy, information dissemination, conferences, seminars, events, trainings, publication, network linkage, and many more since its inception in 1980. We are in the 38th year of our inception here, and just for information of you all, we recently had an international conference in November 2017, which was attended by large numbers, and it was a great success. WASME enjoys consultative and observer status with concerned agencies in UN system such as ECOSOC, UNC, UNCTAD, ITC, WIPO, UNIDO, UNESCO, UNESCAP, and ILO, and several other internal government organizations and internal organizations like WCO, OECD, ICSB, and APEC. This seminar, this presently we are here today to welcome the ambassadors of various countries, and as you know that ambassadors are the torch bearers for their respective countries. They are very pivotal in making strong bilateral cooperation and building relationships between the countries they work and world over. An ambassador is an official envoy, especially a high-ranking diplomat who represents his state and is usually accredited to another sovereign state or to an international organization as the representative, as the resident representative of their own government or sovereign, or appointed for a special and often temporary diplomatic assignments.
Challenge to face the market economy and globalization. And the government has formulated a comprehensive industrial policy 2005, and which offers special fiscal incentives and tax holidays for 5 to 8 years depending on the locations. And then it has already developed the latest National Industrial Policy 2016, which concentrates on micro, small and medium enterprises and also the cottage industries. And Bangladesh government has developed rules and regulations to run the SMEs. And it has offered tax rebate, interest of loan, location of business. As you know, all these have great impact on the growth of the economy. Then there is National Council for Industrial Development, headed by the Prime Minister, and there is Executive Committee of the National Council for Industrial Development, headed by the Minister for Industries, and Bangladesh Small Cottage Industries Corporation and SME Foundation. All these are working very hard, to create and maintain a SME-friendly policy regime in the country.
He was Director in Import and Export Control Section, Ministry of International Trade, and Industry Director, Trade and Industry Cooperation Section, MIT Director, MIT Penang Regional Office, Council on Economic Affairs, Embassy of Malaysia and Bangkok. So we request Sir to kindly forward for the panel discussion.
And looking after the welfare of Gambian abroad. The focus is mainly on trade, tourism, economic stability and development. India has always been welcoming farming relation in all the stated objectives. We welcome you, ma'am, for the panel.
Ambassadors of experiences, in fact. Each ambassador represents the sovereignty and the different governments worldwide of different countries. We are very fortunate that we have very close relationship with more than 200 countries, and some of the ambassadors are with us today. We need not re-emphasize the importance of SMEs. For India also, like Bangladesh or maybe Argentina or maybe Gambia or any other country for that matter, even Malaysia for instance, in our case also, it's 45% our exports, if you look at it, is accounted by MSME sector. Our total output is Indian of growth not for one economy, it's an Indian of growth for the whole global trade, global economy, if you look at it. And fortunately, they also generate maximum number of jobs in the economy. They are also the agent of socio-economic change in every economy. If you look at Bangladesh's experience,
Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, and Argentina. So most of their activity go there because they are the neighbor countries. So this is their activity is mainly oriented to Argentina itself or the Mercosur itself. And I believe that this is something that it's lucky, and I guess that an organization like WASMI can do and have a very important role to play is to disseminate the possibility of small enterprises or medium enterprises. Disseminate the possibility of getting together with some SMEs from other regions. because then, you know, there is a little bit of a better understanding of what's going on and the possibility to go ahead of difficulties that may arise from different languages, from far distances, particularly on the small and medium enterprises. Big enterprises, they have their own ways of doing it. So at least from the government perspective, from the government view, it is much more of what we have to do for the sector of SMEs than we have to do for the sector of the big firms. Of course, that creating the macroeconomic conditions so as everyone can develop their work, it goes for all the firms of the country, being SMEs or not being SMEs. But in the promotion of international trade, I believe that SMEs and the government have a very important role.
Maybe, sir, we would like from India perspective, as you rightly said, if you look at the trade balance, we have been importing more from Argentina and exporting less. So what are the areas where our SMEs from India could participate and push exports?
Well, there are a lot of areas in which you can participate, and in fact, it's being done. If you look at, and I see that you have been watching our trade balance carefully, you can see that out of the Argentine exports to India, 90% is concentrated in two products, which are mainly soya oil and sunflower oil.
Right.
And that's not being produced by small companies. Well, yes and no, because at least from the perspective of our country, we have developed a very interesting cooperative system.
The Gambia High Commission to this ambassadors meet. Unfortunately, before I go further, let me apologize on behalf of my High Commissioner. I should have loved to be here, but unfortunately, because of other prior engagements, she couldn't. And like you rightly said, I'm even supposed to have been on my way since 4 o'clock because I also have other engagements. The Gambia, most of you might not, it's a small country which most people mistake for Zambia. Because especially in India, when you talk about Gambia, they say, oh, Zambia. I say, no, it's the Gambia. So it's on the west coast of Africa, surrounded by Senegal. We are just on the west, we are open at the Atlantic Ocean. India-Gambia relationship has been on for a long time, over 2 decades, even before we established, yes. We had a mission set up in the Gambia, which is just like 10 years old. We've been cooperating on the bilateral level. The SMEs in the Gambia, like I've heard from Bangladesh and His Excellency here, is very important in the Gambia. It constitutes about 20% of the GDP and employs about 60% of especially the youthful population and the marginalized, like the women. It's for the National Development Plan, our priority sectors, education, health, but agriculture and tourism to some extent. We are an agrarian community. About 60% of the total population is engaged in agriculture. So the government has come up with, in the past recent years, policies, to develop or to encourage the youthful population to engage in small businesses, trade, and most of the, for SMEs, most youths are engaged in wholesale and retail.
It depends on the government. It's a political driven thing. The present government in Malaysia is of the view that it is not the right time to introduce GST. They are still okay with the SST system. So yeah, that's it.
So what about its impact on SMEs, in fact? I mean, how exactly the SMEs managed to cope up with this, or they failed to cope up with this? The growth in the SMEs, in fact, I guess SMEs account for almost 36% of the Malaysian
Yeah,
GDP.
36%. You're right. You were studying about the situation in Malaysia. Yeah, but okay. I can just go back to the history, to the past experience when we start to implement our GST. Of course, the most challenging part is to educate people, to make them understand the rationalization of GST.
And from Singapore, from Thailand, from India, from US, I've trained them. And I went to your country to train people of the Tenaga National Berhad. You can ask any one of them, Vinod Kumar. Now, there is a big gap over there which I have perceived. If I'm wrong, please excuse me. People in Malaysia, 70% of them are very competent. But somehow, their education system for these people are not sufficient to develop them in terms of their mindset, in terms of their adjustability. And the biggest problem is that most of the small sector industries are competing with each other. To all the ambassadors, I would like to tell you one thing, that for a small industry sector, I have trained 98% people of NSIC in India, almost all of them. Now, competition among them must be avoided. They compete with each other and they start putting each other down. This is one point. Other point is, you try to develop some kind of team where they are interdependent, because if competition is there among interdependent people, they always try to put each other down. This is one point. Tomorrow only I am going to discuss. Sen Gupta is here and we are going to discuss about these issues only for Malaysia. So, another point, sir, a good skill building program for them is very important. Mindset development, understanding is very important. Third point is, there are a number of blocks in the personality of people of most of the countries like this, where there is a gap between the competence, as in Malaysia. They are very competent people, but most of them, they do not get the opportunity. So what happens, if the competent people are not getting opportunity, they cannot become incompetent, so they become misfit. And managing misfit becomes a bigger problem. So try to see that they are given not only finance. Finance is not a problem for your country. Finance is not a problem. I can tell you about each one of you. Including the family people and the people who are supporting them.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm learning something.
Let's clap for him. You know, we have such a widely experienced person. And so that is why we are exporting, you know, the
one more
management
thing, sir.
institution to manage all those
People
things.
are from Nigeria, Pakistan and Bangladesh. I started my job in Harvard University dealing with 6 countries. India, Pakistan, that time it's Pakistan, now Bangladesh, Chile, Nigeria, England and US. That time I was not in my department, I was in Center for International Affairs of Harvard University. And we have seen that people need to be properly developed. Otherwise, when they fail, they do not put it on themselves, they put it on the government. That's a major problem.
Right, sir. Yes, ma'am, you also have a question. Yes.
Options in MSME sector where we can collaborate. But adding to Sir's point very wisely and rightly said, I would like to add to it with the consent of esteemed professor sitting here. I'm also from education sector, looking after one of the engineering college in remote area in Panipat as a dean. Sir, there are certain questions in my mind I would like to exchange here at this platform. We are talking a lot about resources. Is resources exactly a problem? I think no. Our whole last generation has worked so much on resources that it has become so easy for all of us to collaborate. With a single click on .com word, we can connect across the world. So I think resources, technology, these are not a problem. Our whole last generation has fight and worked for resources, and very successfully they have grabbed that resources to the countries.
These are global problems.
Yes.
How can you say that resources are not a problem?
Resources.
You are talking
Afghanistan as well, we are looking forward to export our product. So as you mentioned, sir, that there is a demand of information technology in Malaysia. Like we are into this segment and we specially designed this product for the MSME sector. How we can go forward and
Oh, ma'am, you can certainly do that. There is no stopping to it. You know, and but the only thing you will have to customize your accounting software, whatever you have done, as per the legal provisions there, as per the accounting provisions there locally.
okay.
You have done it for Indian GST.
Yes, Indian GST.
And
we have
if you
done.
want to do it for Malaysian GST, then you will have to wait for another 10 years. You know, Malaysia will give that
10 years, not 5 years.
We have a different tax system, but anyhow, whatever you need from us, just contact.
Data is the fuel, data is the currency, and data is, I think, the revenue for even for the businessman, for the government as well. So,
Ma'am, your product is Pakka bill. You
Yes.
have a Pakka promise here now. You can connect with the embassy, and embassy, the officials are going to assist you in this.
See, if I can add a little bit. Yeah, we receive a lot of information about this when the Indian company are interested to do something in Malaysia. Obviously, this is business matching part of it. You know, if you have the right product, you have the right people to receive your product. Of course, it will be. It is business to business decision. We at the embassy, at the High Commission, can only try to get you contact with somebody, but the decision will be business.
Export Promotion Council for Services Exports.
Right.
You contact them, they are going to assist you and guide you. And lots of youngsters, startups, lot of people are exporting. It's not that.
Right.
As you rightly said, in today's world, and you have a laptop, you can start exporting.
Yes.
You know, and that taxman will be chasing you, for taxes. Because exporting services, it's such a big challenge for worldwide, the OECD and all the countries, how to tax.
Right.
If you develop a software while traveling from Delhi to Mumbai or maybe from Delhi to Malaysia, in between in the Indian Ocean, who will tax, Malaysia or India? That becomes a big challenge for most of the tax strategies. So ma'am, need not worry, you have lots of opportunities, and His Excellency said that they will assist. So is there any other question? Yeah, please sir, please. Yes, sir, right.
I have a little curiosity for the Afghanistan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can always ask. And Bangladesh also, I am not going to, I cannot leave out my favorite neighbor, Bangladesh.
Basically, what we understand that Afghanistan is passing through the transformation stage. We have seen Afghanistan for many years in what conditions they have been passing through. Now there is a lot of changes now on the ground. They are passing through the transformation. We, the SMEs in India, are very much affiliated towards Afghanistan because there is a lot of opportunities for the business, for the management, for the consultancy. Be a promising partner in the growth of Afghanistan. So I would just like to know from the Afghanistan sector that what are the opportunities may be possible for the Indian people, the SMEs, business houses in various spheres, they can explore there in Afghanistan to be a promising partner with them. Please.
Okay, so give them
Afghanistan. So I don't know, so you don't have information, so you can come to the MBC. But many Indians are dealing with us now in Afghanistan. So we have very good business relation with India.
Sir, I would like to add, my students from Afghanistan are with me only.
Oh, lovely, wonderful. Yeah, please.
I would like them to share their experience
Please do
learning
that.
in India.
Please do that.
Mohammed,
Maybe
take
the
mic and
mic would
get
be
up.
given to, the more you say, the more we will export to Afghanistan.
no, I came to the side to
Yes.
boost him up. So yes, dear, get up.
Good evening to all of you. My name is Haid Muhammad. I am from Afghanistan, and this is the first time I have come to India and for developing my knowledge and to be a skillful person. And fortunately, among all countries, I selected India because this is has a very good historical of educational and among between Iran, Pakistan and other countries, I selected this country, and this is one of my best opportunities.
Okay. If you want to go back to Afghanistan, I will connect you with the.
Sir, they are already connected. So already through them only they came to us.
I don't know that whether they are scholarship through SCR or SEAR or they are in financial, they are self-finance. They are studying here.
India offers scholarship to a good number of countries. And
so we have lots of number of scholars. Around 60,000 students. Every year
in
they
India.
are offering around 500 or 600 scholarships.
Okay.
So I don't know about these students that they are self-finance.
If you are getting the scholarship, then it's fine. Not getting it, then connect with him. He will get it.
And since how long they are studying here, I do.
I'll get that.
I never meet them.
You want to say anything? That's it? Sure. Sir, I being their teacher, I feel enriched when my students stood up and share their experience, and they are with us, and we are very proud of them. In India, they have started learning our culture, and the biggest thing they have learned, I would love them to share with you all. Yes, get up. And so this is our sanskars and values, sir. So we being in Indian also have learned their language. So from my side, I have learned like God is on their side, if we have to say. So it is Panayat Bakhuda. Thank you, sir.
That's wonderful.
Invite you and we will meet and
Please do that.
explain. I don't know why he doesn't have any information about that. We have very good number, business with India.
Yes.
So since 1 year, since 1.5 years, we start air cargo flight from Afghanistan to
Recently
to
from
Delhi,
Mumbai.
from Kabul to Delhi, from Kandahar to Delhi.
Yes.
And just today, we initiate and we start inaugurate from Kabul to Kolkata directly.
Okay.
So this is a very good news for business.
And then Chawar port also. So that a lot of cargo is
The Chawar port is under progress now, so still not operating.
Yes.
But we are very happy that we found alternative way. Before we were have to export the goods through Pakistan, but we will leave that way.
Yes.
So it's a very productive, very good initiative.
Yes, absolutely. Thank
so,
you.
Yeah. Any question?
Yeah, there is a question there. Yeah, please. The young man there. Yeah.
Good evening, Excellency. I have a question that India is a young country and we have 65% amount of population young.
Okay, that way you are saying India is young.
Yes, yes.
Because it has lots of Indians, young Indians.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, please carry on.
Asking,
Yeah.
Government of India are running many kind of schemes like Make in India, Skill India, Stand Up India. But now we have to achieve much more milestone system for the MSME growth. So sir, what should be real India model while we
need to undergo through a lot of paradigm changes in the way a small medium enterprise is going to be working in this place. We have been mostly talking about manufacturing in this case. But if you can go to take a look at the whole of the world scenario, you're going to find that that is not all the way from before, but from somewhere, we were in for search economy. That is how Google went to take its advantage. That was one part. So the whole of the world was looking for information, looking for something. That was called a search economy, and it was in Yahoo and then Google, and then this is how exactly India started taking advantage of it by sending its people to become software engineers or so. Now we are into knowledge economy. Now knowledge economy means that is sharing the type of a knowledge that is local knowledge, global knowledge, and things like that. Now we don't going to be having a lot of institutions which going to be integrating this type of knowledge. For example, if you're going to take example of Malaysia, then in Malaysia, in the fields of rice fields of Sabah, Sarawak, all of it, not only rice but fishes are also going to be part of it. Now this is something that is a local knowledge, and we don't want to be having any enterprise in India which can go to take advantage of integrating knowledge between Malaysia and India. Now this requires a new type of a paradigm shift, because the theme even in this case is going to be thinking global, acting local, right? Localization is going to be the theme. We have not been able to use, exploit local wisdom. Now this local wisdom can go into in case of certain things, in case of how to integrate the small ports. Now that is what India goes on to be having an advantage of. Now that has been brewed in India all the way from the Chola period, and that goes on to be in Mehsana, Gujarat, Mandapam, Kanyakumari. Now Malaysia requires to learn something from that kind. Now you're going to take the third example of it. We have an Argentinian excellency as well in this case. That is, we don't go to be having, Argentina goes on to be having so many type of locations which Indian going to look for. They look for where to go, how to go, because they are looking for it on the net, here, there, on almost everywhere. So you're going to be having a Iguazu Fall in that place. You're going to be having an active volcano in the form of Hojas del Salado, Aconcagua, Ancohuma. You're also going to be having the southernmost city in Argentina in this place, Ushuaia. Now, we don't going to be having any means of integrating it, and forget about the fact when Indians go on to be looking for driving on the road, what they're going to look for? They go on to Mumbai, from Mumbai to Alibag and then to Karwar. Now, they're going to be having a complete track of a road that goes to run all the way from Buenos Aires to Spalata Pass and to Valparaiso, connecting it to Chile. Now, no Indian enterprise thinks of integrating it and connecting both of them and trying to utilize this situation in any manner. Now, WASME can go on to put India into a knowledge map of sorts by thinking of bringing such type of a paradigmatic shift in the knowledge and other components. If you're going to be talking about Afghanistan, the way water was going to be conserved in that region. For example, the type of canals that were built, which incidentally some of them had been destroyed by bombings and other things, but that was an ingenious method of how to conserve water. Now, this is a type of a device that we require to do in some places like southern part of the country, in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, despite the fact that we're going to be having George in those type of places there, because the water table in that place is going to be low. So we require to take India towards knowledge economy. That is going to be another part of. And we're going to be talking about small medium enterprises which are going to be talking about manufacturing. I'm not talking about manufacturing, I'm talking about knowledge economy that is going to be a service. The third part is going to be the perception and knowledge economy management. Now we are going to be talking about certain things. For example, the basic problem with Malaysia in this case is right now is that that is after +2 of sorts, they're going to be training a lot of their children to work in offices, to work in firms and so on. Now most of the people in Malaysia do not going to go for thought leadership training so that they can go to become self-entrepreneurs. They can go to propel their economy to a next level of development. They can also go on to integrate a good amount of information by developing themselves to an extent where they will go on to work as well in Malaysia as they can go to work in Indonesia or in other places. So thought leadership training is one part that is completely missing in Malaysia. India has such type of a thought leadership training, and which people going to be doing it on a regular basis. So when we're going to be talking about export of knowledge and export of such type of concepts, now this is one way, one place where it can going to be getting integrated. Take an example of some other type of economies, and you're going to find good number of them. So we require to move our concept of a small medium enterprises to something that is going to be developing in the 21st century. We are living in a digital age. Now in digital age, the connectivity is not going to be a major issue and major problem. Now talking about digital economy and digital marketing and how to take advantage of it, Malaysia again doesn't going to be having a lot of small nations, even Argentina for its children. Microfilms that we are going to be talking about. We don't going to be having a microfilm on the economic issues of Malaysia, on Argentina or Afghanistan. Now these are some of these type of works that can be done only at a small level, not exactly on an industrial base. So the small medium enterprises require to go through a lot of paradigmatic shift when you're going to be talking about India, where exactly India can go ahead and how is it that India can go to get itself integrated with the whole of the world, not economy, political economy, ecological economy, and we are talking about a sustainable economy. This is what we are talking about.
Right. So nice of you. In fact, friends, and the globalization, all of us are talking about, it's good for us. But globalization also has a bad aspect. And the bad aspect is that the globalization largely means a standardization of knowledge, practices, which turns out to be best practices. That means that you are overlooking your local wisdom, local knowledge, local practices. So a lot of local knowledge, which is known in our lingo as jugaad knowledge, jugaad practices,